Alright, guys, as always, if you're looking for some cheap, affordable games on Steam, on any platform really, just visit g2a.com. The link is in the description of this video and in the comment section below. Now, on to the video. So, it's official. Dillian the Body Snatcher Whyte will be facing none other than Lucas Browne. Now, on my original channel, I remember before, like this was a couple of months ago, I believe now, Dillian Whyte was set to, they were talking like they were going to fight. But then Lucas Browne, because they were talking like, I guess Eddie Hearn proposed Lucas Browne to fight on the undercard of Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam. And Lucas Browne refused to fight Dillian Whyte. And also, Ricky Hatton turned down the fight. So I remember making a video back then calling him a ducker and a coward. And of course, Robert Helenius stepped in. So now we're back to square one. It's going to be Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne. Once again, another older fighter. Dillian Whyte has a habit of fighting guys that are in their 30s, past it. I'm going to tell you right now, Lucas Browne, I was thinking about Robert Helenius, by the way. Lucas Browne is not going to win this fight. Lucas Browne has fought once since 2015. And that one time he fought in 2015, or no, once since, I think it was either 2015, it's been years. He's been very inactive. And the last time he was in there with a guy who has some type of ambition, because his last opponent, he fought a bum. But the last time he was in there with a guy who had some ambition was when he fought Ruslan Shigaev. And mind you, Ruslan Shigaev was completely, like, he was past it by then. He was like overweight. He was like 38 years old. And even a 38-year-old overweight fat Ruslan Shigaev was beating up Lucas Browne. He knocked down Lucas Browne several times in that fight. If like my voice sounds a little hoarse, it's because I'm a little sick. So sorry about that. That's life. You get sick sometimes, your voice changes. But yeah, I'm a little hoarse. But yeah, a short, 6 foot tall, fat, overweight Ruslan Shigaev. I've never been high on Ruslan Shigaev. He was able to drop Lucas Browne several times and hurt him. And mind you, that was a Lucas Browne who was with roids. So even a roided Lucas Browne, because he was caught with PEDs, or he was juicing apparently when he was caught with that juice in his body after the fight. That version of Lucas Browne, even being roided, roided to the gills, even that version of Lucas Browne could not be a 38, 39-year-old fat, slow-ass Ruslan Shigaev. Okay? Slow-ass Ruslan Shigaev. So, what do you think Dillian Whyte's going to do? Dillian Whyte is in the prime of his life right now. What is he, like 28, 29 years old? He's younger than Lucas Browne. He's fresher, and the main thing is he's way more active. He's way more active. Lucas Browne, like I said, has fought like once in the past year and a half. He hasn't been in a tough fight in years. He's almost 30. He's like 39 years old soon. So there's a massive age difference. Like, Lucas Browne is almost 10 years the senior of Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, despite the fact that I critique him a lot, I do critique him a lot. I do think he's kind of overrated. I have said stuff in the past, like I don't think he'll ever be a champion. That's just my opinion, guys. But all the things I say about Dillian Whyte, I do think he's better than Lucas Browne. Lucas Browne is a he's really a come forward type of fighter. He's a aggressive type of fighter. Although when he fought Ruslan Shagayev, he kind of switched it up. If you look at that fight, because normally he's a come forward fighter, but if you look at the Ruslan Shagayev fight, he was trying to outbox Ruslan Shagayev. He was like on the back foot. But typically, Lucas Browne is a come forward aggressive fighter. So if he comes forward aggressively against Dillian Whyte, I think he's gonna get beat up because I think Dillian Whyte is a better close up inside fighter than Lucas Browne. Dillian Whyte throws pretty good hooks to the body. He's a decent body puncher. He throws really nice uppercuts. Dillian Whyte, I think he throws nice uppercuts. And I think Dillian Whyte's a guy that likes his opponents coming at him so he can let his combinations go and his hands go. And I think what's going to happen is... one thing I will say too is I've always felt that Lucas Browne had a suspect chin. I mean, Ruslan Shagayev was never known as a big puncher, but Ruslan Shagayev was... Every time he hit Lucas Browne cleanly, Lucas Browne was flying all over the floor and stuff. So I have a big feeling Lucas Browne's going to get stopped in this fight. He's going into this fight not being active, being like 39 years old against a guy who's 10 years his junior, a guy who is been active, a guy who's probably in better shape than him, and a guy that stylistically is a bad for him matchup. So I think you're going to see him get beat up. Again, I've really never been high on Lucas Browne. I do think that he is a puncher, though. I do think that. So maybe he'll have... the only chance I really see him is a puncher stance. Although I have seen Dillian Whyte get outboxed by the likes of someone like, by the likes of someone like Robert Helenius. So maybe if Lucas Browne decides to fight on the back foot against Dillian Whyte, the way he was doing against Ruslan Shagayev, maybe he would have some minor success because like I said, I've seen Dillian Whyte get outboxed by someone like Robert Helenius, Robert Helenius is not a guy who is good fighting off the back foot. He's more typically of a come forward fighter, so he's not good at fighting off the back foot yet. He attempted to fight off the back foot, not being against Dillian Whyte and not being an expert fighting off the back foot, and he was able to give Dillian Whyte some trouble. I thought he won some rounds against Dillian Whyte in the early rounds. So maybe Lucas Browne could try to mimic that. I think Lucas Browne will frustrate Dillian Whyte more if he tries to outbox Dillian Whyte rather than bring the pressure. Because I think if you bring the pressure, I think Dillian Whyte that's what he wants, and I think Dillian Whyte is better than Lucas Browne on the inside. And like I said, I think he's chinny. But let's say he decides to Lucas Browne to fight on the back foot and frustrate and have Dillian Whyte come after him. I don't think Dillian Whyte's the best at cutting off the ring. I think he will have some chance. But still, I still don't see him beating Dillian Whyte. I do pick Lucas Browne to get knocked out by Dillian Whyte. I just think that it's a new generation. I think Lucas Browne is a guy who, I don't know, I guess I've never really been high on Lucas Browne. I think he's just a guy that he was kind of fighting some low level guys, but he kind of got figured out once he's fought someone with a tad ambition. And he's also type slow in my opinion, like in terms of body movement, foot speed. So yeah, this might be an entertaining fight though, because I guess it depends what version of Lucas Browne comes. If he tries to fight the smart way outbox, maybe it'll be not as entertaining because Dillian Whyte will have to chase Lucas Browne, and Dillian Whyte's the best at cutting off the ring. But if Lucas Browne decides to fight his normal fight and come forward and try to go tit for tat, like Errol Spence says, with Dillian Whyte, then it's probably going to be a barn burner because they're both big punchers. Well, Dillian Whyte's not a big puncher, but I think Lucas Browne's a big puncher. And like that, it won't be good for Lucas Browne, but like that, it'll be entertaining for us as boxing fans, for the crowd. So, yeah, what do you guys think of this fight? Again, is it the best fight? No. I would have rather see Dillian Whyte versus, Wilder or Jarrell Miller, but you know, whatever. That's just the way it is. I wonder who Dillian Whyte's gonna fight after he beats Lucas Browne, because he will beat him. And it'll be really hilarious if he loses to Lucas Browne. Though I will say. I will clown Dillian Whyte if he loses to Lucas Browne. I will clown him, make fun of him all night. I make fun of him all day. He better not. Yo, Lucas Browne better not beat Dillian Whyte, or else he getting clowned, dude. I'll make fun of him all day, guys. But yeah. I wonder who he's gonna fight next. After that, I don't think he'll fight Wilder, because Wilder will probably beat Luis Ortiz, and then he'll fight Anthony Joshua, and then he'll retire. So I don't think he's gonna do that. But I want to see him against hopefully someone who's ambitious and someone who's young. He keeps fighting these guys in their like late 30s. He needs to fight someone his own age who's ambitious, who's young. I want to see him in there with guys like that. But yeah, guys, so I have to say, McGregor's out. And again, if you're into gaming, click on that G2A link down in the description, and let me know your opinions of boxing, guys. I'm out.